Hey dear subscribers, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to see the fourth revision lecture of chapter 9 Forces and Laws of Motion, and we're going to study it in the form of mind maps. I'm NIDHI Bhandari. Let's get started with Newton's third law of motion. So let's see what is Newton's third law of motion. First of all, the statement. So the statement is, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. What do we mean by this? See, if we hit the wall, right, we're trying to hit the wall, we're applying force, and in return we also get hurt, right? हमारे palm पे pain होता है. That means the wall is also exerting a force. You are exerting the force in the forward direction. The wall is exerting towards you. So against the direction which you were applying the force. So therefore we say opposite reaction. But whatever amount of force that you're applying, you're going to get a same force on your palm. So if you're applying 10 newtons, you're going to get a 10 Newton force on your palm. More than that, more than that. Less than that, then you're going to get less than that. Right? So Newton's third law is, to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So what does this Newton's third law tell us about forces? That the forces always comes in, this is very important, equal and opposite pair. So force would never exist alone. There will be a pair of force always exerting, which is going to be equal. So the pair of force, the two forces are always going to be equal but opposite in direction. Right? So if one force is in forward direction, other is going to be in backward direction. If one force is upward, the other one is going to be in the downward direction. So there are always equal and opposite forces. Now this equal and opposite forces, they always act on two different objects. Like first force I was applying on the wall and the other force is applied on my palm. So these two forces which are existing in pair right now in this particular case are exerting on two different objects. एक wall पे लग रहा है तो एक palm पे लग रहा है, right? So they are acting on two different objects that may accelerate differently. This is very important. See, accelerate differently. Why? Because both the object on which you are applying force has different masses. Right? So if you apply force on the wall, does the wall move? No, not at all. But when you apply that force, you at the same moment experiences a jerk on yourself in the opposite direction, right? So you are accelerating. So that means both the objects are accelerating differently. Now why you and the wall is accelerating differently? Because acceleration depends on the mass. And right now in Newton's second law, we have seen that how does the acceleration depend upon the mass? It is inversely proportional to mass. So a body with huge mass or a higher mass is going to accelerate less, whereas a body with lower mass is going to accelerate more. Right? So this is very important. Questions are asked on the basis of this, that if the two forces are equal, opposite, why don't they cancel out each other? Because they act on two different bodies. If two forces act on two different bodies in equal magnitude, why don't they both body accelerate in the same manner? Because forces act on the two different bodies which have different masses, therefore they accelerate differently. And one very important thing, this action reaction pair occur simultaneously. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि अगर मैं वॉल को प्रेस कर रही हूँ तो 10 मिनट्स बाद मुझे वो फील होगा बैकवर्ड जर्क या फिर अ पेन, राइट? इट इज गोइंग टू बी साइमल्टेनियस. सो ये साइमल्टेनियसली अकर होता है. Now let us see certain examples of this Newton's third law. First, when you walk, so when you walk you push ground backwards. So in return, what does the ground do? It exert a reaction in the forward direction. Therefore, you are able to walk in the forward direction. So जो भी आपका question है कि you are able to walk, तो walk कैसे करते हैं? Forward direction. तो वो reaction होगा. आप उसके पहले का action. So what was the action? You were pressing the ground in the backward direction. तभी तो आपको forward action मिला. Because right now we have seen that two forces are opposite in nature. Right? Second example देखो. If this is the case of gun and bullet. So now what? When we press the trigger, this gun applies a forward force on the bullet. right? So this bullet is going to apply force on the gun also, but in which direction? Backward direction, because of the opposite forces, because of the Newton's third law of motion. Therefore, the gunman experiences a jerk on his shoulder because the bullet exerts a backward force on the gun. If you see the case of rocket propulsion, again the same. Rocket propulsion में क्या होता है? The gases comes out in the downward direction, and this exhaust gases give a push to the rocket in the upward direction, and hence the rocket goes in the upward direction. So there are many more examples which are based on this. The case of hose pipe, wherein you're trying to put off the fire, so the water comes out from the pipe with a great rush in the forward direction. So that water is going to exert a force on the pipe also in the backward direction. So hence it becomes really difficult for the fireman to hold the hose pipe. So is to hold it very, very firmly because of Newton's third law. So whenever you get any questions is based on some application that is going on your mind. So जो भी दिमाग में चलता है, whatever is the thought behind the answer, just put it up in your words. So सोच रहे हो कि Newton's third law, तो the mention करो according, this is in accordance to Newton's third law, and then you explain it. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हमें unnecessary we have to write paragraphs. No, up to the point, but everything should be covered, right? So I think Newton's third law is also clear now. So I hope this Newton third law in brief is clear to you. For the complete video, you can watch my lecture. Thank you so much. Keep loving and keep subscribing. Thank you. Keep practicing. Bye.